out. You gotta have it all planned out. So if you sat down to yourself and said to myself, yo, do I really want my parents to kick me out of the house? Do I really want my whole family to shun me? Do I really want my wife to leave me? Do I really want to lose my job? And if you're a man of the Lord, you're going to say, man, fuck all that. I don't care about all that, man. I'm with this, man. Fuck this wicked world, man. You know, you're going to have that ride or die spirit, man. You know what I mean? But
verse 29, less happily, after he had laid the foundation, is not able to finish it, and all that behold it began to mock him.
You see that? So that's a guy that thought that this was all about, he thought it was a trend. He thought it was trendy to come into the truth and you know, stand out here and play prophet. They're not realizing that there's gonna be times where nothing's happening, and it's gonna feel like things are just drawing out, and the Most High has taken long to bring His judgment. But yet you just have to keep on coming out here week after week after week, man. And that in itself is a test of your patience, man, to see whether you can endure. But as a little upstart, you want things to be constantly happening. You know what I'm saying? Then you be one of them niggas, oh, the Lord delayeth His coming. No, the Lord is not delaying His coming. He does things in His time. You as a servant gotta know that let the Lord's will be done.
I got a precept, brother.
You know, that's a test of your honor. Are you a faithful servant? Or are you just gonna get bored because the trend died? It's not as interesting. The truth isn't interesting anymore. You know, that spirit done left me. I've seen guys do that, man. They come in the truth and they're on fire. Even the elders is praising them, man. And all of a sudden, where are they now? Where are them niggas now?
It's scary, man.
See guys, they're on fire. They're on fire. Where are they now? You know what I mean? As inspirational as they were, where are they now? They're back in the world, man. And they would never dare come back into the truth. They wouldn't dare bring any shameless self around here, man. Because they get rebuked. You know? But, you know.
Saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. But what king goeth to make war against another king, and sitteth not down and consulteth whether he be able to with 10,000 to meet him, and cometh against him with 20,000?
Yeah, right. You know, so if you're a king, man, and you got 10,000 troops on them, the other opposing side, they got 20,000. You just think, are you prepared to go to war? Do you have enough strategic advisors to advise you on laying ambushes, or, you know, do you feel confident to go to war with that? Because there's been times where a 10,000 man army can destroy a 20,000 army, man. That's possible. But it has to be done with good counseling, okay? The king has to be a strategic, man. You know what I mean? Also, terrain, the environment as well. Where to station the troops, you know, and everything like that. Weather, you need to consider these things, the environment, man, and how it will affect your troops. Supplies, you have enough supplies, okay? So go ahead.
Or else, while the other is yet great away off, he sendeth an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. For so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple.
Yeah, so you gotta say, man, to hell with this, man. The Most High over all else. You know?
I got a precept, bro.
Yeah.
This is on Matthew 19, verse I'll begin with verse 22. So it says, matter of fact, verse 21. Yahweh shall said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go. Now let me go a couple of verses. So lock it.
I don't want to forget this in the
Okay, let's start with verse 17.
I don't want to forget
Verse 15. And he laid his hands on them and departed thence. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? So this is the rich man talking.
Right.
Verse 17, and he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one that is, the Most High Yahweh. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. And he said unto him, which Yahweh shall said, Thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt commit adultery, thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Verse 20. The young man saith unto him, All these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? And Yahweh said unto him, You gonna say something? Go. He says, and Yahweh said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasures in heaven, and come and follow me.
You know, that was a test to him. You're rich in this world, man. Okay? Are you really going to give up all that you have? That's you got to count the cost. You going to give up everything? Because with riches come other delicacies, man, like women and friends, man. You know? And respect of the people, because the scriptures talk about the rich have many friends. So you're thinking about, if you give all that up to subject yourself to the foolishness of preaching, you're going to become a scorn among the people. You're probably going to suffer more than the brother that come into this truth, and probably no one knew who he was. Because you're a rich man, everyone knows your face. So you've got more to lose. So you definitely got to count the cost, man. Yeah. This guy, he weighed it up. He said, everlasting life. Okay, that pussy. He said, oh man, you gotta get that pussy, man. The rich man. How should I turn around? And he said, man, see, it's hardly for a rich man to think about. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, because you're talking about that's a scorn. That's a protest in the faith. You know? The whole world coming against you, man. Your friends, everybody shaking their head at you, the embarrassment. I remember when I first came into the truth, and I was out there in the streets, man. There'll be times when I'm out there teaching, and I felt the embarrassment of just standing there by myself, and I'm speaking to the wind, man, and people are walking past. I remember I'm fresh. I have no experience. I'm doing something that I'm not used to doing. Standing in the street, prophesying to the wind, and the people walking past. People think I'm crazy. I felt like I was going crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm a nobody. I'm not a rich man. No one knows my face. But imagine if I was somebody famous, and if I was somebody rich, and I'm standing in the street, prophesying to the wind. People are gonna be like, I swear this is this guy. I'm gonna run footage of this, man. I'm gonna upload this on YouTube. Then you really gonna suffer it, man. Because people know who you are. So this guy said, man, fuck that. I ain't doing that. Oh, sorry, man. I can't deal with that. And this is what happens, go on.
Yeah, it says, but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful.
He was a young man. He wasn't an old man. Like an old man that's been there and done it all. Now he's more settled in life and he's ready to just accept that this is a young man. He's still in his prime. He's still getting the girls, his friends, the partying. They said, what the young man, what?
It says, but when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions.
Yeah, because he had great possessions, man. You know what I mean? He had great possessions. Go ahead.
Then said Yahweh Shai unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven.
You see that? You gotta count the cost, man. And he could have, and that young man could have pleased the Most High, because it says it's impossible. Without faith, it's impossible to please him. Now that would take a whole heap of faith, man, to get rid of all his possessions, to become and be a disciple of Yahweh Shai. Couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So that shows you that not everybody is for this, man. You know what I mean? Not everybody's built to be a disciple or follower of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Not everybody's chosen for this, man. So if you chosen for this, you're blessed, man. Now you just slid right into the truth. It wasn't difficult for you. You wasn't there questioning yourself and, you know, battling yourself whether you want to choose the world or whether you want to choose salvation. It was like an instant thing.
Yeah, putting off from day to day.
It clicked with you. You know what I mean? And that's a blessing, man. And there's certain guys right now that know about this truth, and they're still behind fucking the keyboards, man. Yeah. Scared because their mum might kick them out the house, man. You know what I'm saying? There's certain guys that can't do what we can do, man, and they wish they had the spirit to do what we do. You know what I mean? You still got something?
Yeah, I still got some more. It says, and again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Yeah, so a camel, the eye of a needle, I mean, it's difficult to humble a camel and to get it through like a passage.
Yes, like an arch.
You know what I mean? So it's more easier for will you read that again, so
Yeah, it says, and again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Yeah, because that man's gonna have to humble himself, man. That takes a great deal of humility, man. You know what I'm saying? And that takes a great deal of humility. The word, I keep saying, the word humility comes from the word humos, which comes from a Latin word, means to the ground. So you literally have to put away pride. You gotta let go of from the immortal thoughts, or set aside the thoughts that are most heaviest onto you, man. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You gotta forsake your way. You gotta forsake the world, man, and you gotta let go. You have to literally let go, man. You know what I'm saying? Your only life support is Yahweh Shai, man. He's your strength. He's the reason why you can stand so boldly in the multitude of people and prophesy right to them. Because your only strength, the only thing that you have to lean upon is Yahweh Shai, man. You ain't got nothing else. Because you've forsaken you've given it all away. So if you give all that up, Yahweh Shai will fight for you, man. He's going to give you the spirit, man.
Lovely, brother, lovely.
He's going to give you the spirit.
Lovely.
Because he sees that you've sacrificed, you've given up something else for him. So he's now going to fight for you. Okay? It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to give all that shit up, man. Okay? But
and when his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? Verse 26, but Yahweh beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with the Most High all things are possible. Verse 27, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we therefore? And Yahweh said unto them, this is the point. I say unto you, Yahweh said unto them, verily, I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, and ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Read that again.
It says, and Yahushua said unto them, I'll jump up a verse. It says, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee.
Right, so Peter said to him, because Yahushua said, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to forsake his possessions, man. But then Peter turned around and said, what about us? We've given up everything, man. What are we going to get in exchange for this? Right?
And it reads, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
You're going to get glorified, man. As Yahushua going to sit on the throne of his glory. This, Paul said in the epistle to the Romans, we're going to be joint heirs, man.
Woo!
So we're going to be sitting on thrones of our glory, judging all 12 tribes, man. All the 12 families of Jacob, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get 10-fold, 100-fold, all that we lost. We're gonna get that triple, 4-fold, 100-fold.
He goes into it.
Go on.
Verse 29, and everyone that hath forsaken houses,
Hear that?
or brethren,
Right?
or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
You hear that?
I hear it.
So if you forsake, you're talking about you forsake your friends, the world, your job, you know, pursuit of being rich and famous. You give up this world, man. You give up this world for following Yahushua. When the time comes for the kingdom to be established on this planet Earth, man, we're gonna get 100-fold, 1,000-fold, man. We're gonna get houses, property, lands, servants, hundreds of wives. We're gonna get all that, man. Okay? But you can't serve two masters. You can't serve this world, man. You know what I'm saying? Pleasing your little wife. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Your job and your boss. And be a follower of Yahushua. You can't do both. You gotta give up one. One has to be more important than the other. You know what I mean? See that again, man.
It says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life.
Yeah, so which is more important to you, man? What's more important to you? I already told brothers, man, the greatest thing or achievement of a man's life is to give service to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man.
That's right.
That's the greatest service that a man can give, man. Nothing else is more important than that.
Nothing.
Giving service unto the Creator, man.
Yeah, all day long, man.
That's the greatest honor of a man's life, man. And that honor has been given unto us.
Yeah.
And for that we are thankful, man.
Great people, always.
You know?
I got one verse too, which is a very powerful one. It says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first.
Right. So if you're trying to come first in this life, you're trying to be rich and successful, you know what I mean? You're trying to have house and family and kids, and you put that as your priority, you're going to lose all that, man. You're going to lose all that. So first thing is Yahweh and Yahushua, man. And think of nothing else, man.
And brother, could I just elaborate what you're saying as well, what you're going into? Because ultimately, when it's all said and done, man, we know that this society is on its way out, and we also know that the powers that be, eventually, right now they're talking about how this crown, code 119 is killing a lot of people, and we're being told to act as though we have it. Take care, brother.
Yes, brother.
right? So we're being told.
You're doing a good thing, man. Enlighten the people. Bless.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, so we're being told because of this, this COVID-19 situation that we got to get the vaccinations. But in the midst of all of that, eventually, we're all going to be commanded and mandated, and we always talk about this, to take the mark of the beast. If you want to keep everything you have, if you want to keep your house, even everything that you want in this life, that you want to keep in this life, you have to get the chip. So eventually, it's going to get down to the point, and every last one of us are going to be tempted and tested. This is why it says in Revelation, the 3rd chapter, that what is it? If you can't, brother, often say it. Right. So when you say, like for example, as we've always been saying, we're not going to take the trip. But when you really analyze it, when you say you ain't taking the trip, what you're saying is you're going to forsake everything to the point where you may have to be homeless and it's cold ass weather. Or you may have to go to a concentration camp.
That's what it means.
You may be in a cell cold as fuck. You understand? And you may be in there even unto death. You may be put to death in there. Or you may go out like the Apostle Peter. You understand, where the angel may deliver you out of there. But you got to put yourself through the ringer to get the results. And what is the results that we want? We want to be glorified. We want to be rewarded. That's why we come out here. That's why we go through what we go through. We're not coming out here to simply boast in ourselves, to show off and say, look, we're doing the work. I mean, we may brag a little bit about that, but it ain't about that. It's about laboring for our power. Like the brother said, the greatest service that a man could ever do is serve his power. And that's what we're going to be liberated from. We're going to be liberated from serving Esau to serving our power, the natural thing. Like even the plants, even the trees, even the wind, even the moon, even the sun, moon, and stars serve Yahweh Bashmi al-Shah. So that's what we're supposed to be doing. Go on, brother.
This is what you're saying. This is John chapter 15, verse 13. Actually, you start from 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.
Right, and that's another thing as well. Like the brother was going into how you're supposed to, be cool with your brother and stuff. And I was going into that as well in the video. This brother did a video, I did a video about that. And that's a part of doing the work. Yeah, you can come out here and put garments on and all of this. You can do A, B, and C, because look at this, right? You got all of these different camps that are in the midst of Great Millstone, that are outside of Great Millstone, right? And they, they do what they're supposed to do in terms of following the true doctrine. But what I'm also talking about are those that are not doing what's written in this book. All right, they're not teaching the scriptures the correct way. They're adding, taking away from the book. And then you have certain Israelites out there that are not brotherly. That's a part of the work. That's the main thing that the Lord wants us to do, because the brotherhood is basically the reformation of the house of David. So in order for us to keep that house stable and to keep that house together, we have to unify together. We have to be brothers, because that house is going to be a peaceful house. So in order for that house to be a peaceful house, we have to exemplify what peace is all about among the brethren. That's a part of doing the work as well. Go on, brother.
It says, and this is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you.
Yeah, because check this out, right? When you think about it, why is it that the powers that be and the people, which, spring from the elites, okay, because they're all of the same nation anyway, how come that there's a discrepancy? You know why that is? Because even in these secretive councils, the Masonic Brotherhood, they're divided. There's quarrels, there's arguments going on. So therefore, the people that are under them, the people that are liking unto them, will be like in matter. That's why the people are protesting, and there's all different amalgamations of different parties and stuff like that. Like in America, you had, you had the Republican Party storm Capitol Hill building. And then you got the Democratic Party protesting and shit like that. But the point I'm making is that we're seeing the results of a divided people. We've also seen our people being divided, and it doesn't work. What works is when brothers are connected, when brothers are joined together, like the brother was going into, right? Understand your brother. Because me and this brother, we had a little thing, whatever, and which was a beautiful thing, because the council was set, like the scripture says, seek counsel. Because you may think you're in the right, you may actually sincerely believe that you're in the right, but what if you're wrong? And that's what I found out. I found out that I was the one in the wrong. So now when certain situations occur like that again, I know how to deal with it because I was able to see what was going on with me. You understand? So I mean, it's easy to look at another guy and say what he's, I mean, I don't need to change the topics, but the Spirit got me talking about this. It's easier to look at somebody else, as it says in the book of Matthew 7, the 7th chapter, where it says, right. So it's easy to look at somebody else's downfall, but you got to examine yourself. This truth is about self-examination. Once you can grow in yourself and you become better on who you are, then you can tell the next brother what to do. It has to begin with you. And then when you're cool and you're calm and collected within yourself, the brotherhood becomes cool as well. You understand? But I don't need to jump around, but that's just how the Spirit goes sometimes, you know?
That's where the word modest comes from. The word modest means somebody who's not confident, overconfident in their own abilities.
Yeah.
You know, they're fair. They're very fair. They're modest. They're not overconfident in their own self. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's good to examine yourself and be fair. Look at the other person, but also look at yourself.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about. You have to understand, like, the one thing about the truth, right, is a beautiful thing, because when you come in as a young man, you don't know nothing really. Let's just keep it real. You know, you do your 3 years and you don't really know certain things. But as you get older in the faith, you start to gain the ability to understand. And then with that, you're able to weigh out the differences between what's going on. And that's just the thing. But that's what brothers are supposed to be doing. Brothers are supposed to be examining themselves and examining the next brother. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to just jump around. I want to continue on what you was reading on. I want to finish that point. And I want you to get Matthew's spot, because I want to build on what the brother was talking about, on how giving up the world and what the rewards are. That's what I want to do. You can't give up that, bro.
This is back in John 15, verse 13.
Yeah.
It says, greater love hath no man than this, than that a man lay down his life for his friends.
Exactly. And that's what Yahweh Shai did. Yahweh Shai laid down his life for his friends. Now the word friend means brother. So he put his life down so that we can be reconciled, so that we can take the stand. And with this grace spirit, we can call on Yahweh Shai to have mercy upon us. Because if he didn't do that, we would be fucked. There would be no reason for him to come back down here to deliver us, had he not went on that cross. He had to down that cross for his friends so that we can be reconciled, so that the prophecy can be fulfilled, that the Lord is a power of mercy, man, in the book of Psalms. Because the Lord didn't die for everybody. He only died for the elected nation of Israel. You understand? That's what he died for. That's why we out here, because we're hoping and praying that we're the elect. Now, we're not certain if we're the elect, but this is why we do what we do. I didn't have a dream or a strong vision in the Lord saying to me, you're the elect. We don't know. We don't need to know if we're the elect. Because if we know if we're the elect, we're not going to be driven to do the Father's will the right way, the way he sees fit. So it's a beautiful thing that we don't know. And another thing too, it keeps us on a lower level where we need to be. Humble. Go on, brother.
So I jump down to 16. It says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you that you should go forth and bring fruit.
Yeah. So you brothers gotta understand and recognize, man. Like the brother was going into on how you got a lot of men, they come into this truth and they miss the point. They come into this thing and they learn a little something. They get all puffed up and they feel like they're on top of the world, and they telling they telling you what to do. It's not about that. It's about you growing between you and your power, you and your maker. You growing in the spirit. Once you can master growing in the spirit, then you can be authoritative, because now you have the understanding, you have the wisdom to judge.
You'll be modest in that position.
Exactly.
Because with great power comes great responsibility.
Appreciate.
So you need to be careful about how you're dealing with brothers, knowing that brothers also got pride. Brothers also have ego. So you need to be careful how you approach brothers, man. And careful not to harm their ego or harm their sense of pride. Because not every brother is strong-minded as yourself. You know, you having experience in the truth gives you a lot of strength, mental strength, man. You know, it gives you a lot of self-worth as well, because you're a man of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The Lord has humbled you to the point where you know that, you know your worth, man. You know what I mean? But another man is in his truth. He still has elements of pride on him, and that's what protects his ego, you know, because he still doesn't know, he's not as confident as you might be, as an older man in the truth. So, you know, you still need to be careful about how you deal with brothers, man. You know what I mean? As an older man, you know, approach your brothers who understand and everything. Okay? Because Yahweh Shai, the disciples reckoned with one another, said, who should be the greatest? Yahweh Shai said, the kings of the Gentiles exercise dominion over their subjects, right? Yeah. But with you guys, it's not going to be so. For he that is greatest shall be a servant unto all of you, man. You know what I mean? So if you're serving somebody, you're thinking about their needs, man, before your own. You know what I mean? You're thinking about them before yourself. It's really being selfless, man. You're here to serve other brothers, man. You know what I mean? So, okay, good.
Psalms 139 and 23 says, search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting.
That's examining yourself. That's the definition of examining yourself, man. You know what I mean? Because that's David not being confident in a plain way. The scripture says, be not confident in a plain way. David, a mighty man, most valiant man of his time. You know what I mean? You can read about him, man. He had the strength to break steel with his own forearm, man. You know what I mean? Break steel. He played with apex predators, man. Flinging them around. You know what I mean? He crushed men on battlefield. But yeah, he sat down, and with his modest mind, man, he said to himself, Most High, check me still. You see if there's any wickedness within me. So if a man of great warriors like that, how should we be? Because we're nowhere near that. We're not like that. We're not as mighty as Dawudah.
That's a very beautiful point, yeah.
We're not as mighty as Dawudah. So what man, in any camp in Great Millstone, you have the right to be proud. Look at Dawudah for an example of how he ought to be. Balance, man, perfect balance. As mighty as he was the same level of humility that he had. That's exactly what the Most High is looking for. You give you power like that because he sees you can exercise that power on a modest level. You know what I mean?
You know I looked up the word meek, yeah?
Yeah.
It says, patient, long-suffering, forbearing, resigned, gentle. This is Google, but I'm going to go to the blue letter. Gentle, quiet, shy, retiring, relevant, peaceful, peaceable, docile, mild demeanor, modest.
Read the strong definitions.
So now I'm going to look at the blue letter, yeah? It's a screenshot, yeah? It says, figure depressed. Oh, let me go to the top. It says, from depressed, you know.
Depressed means it means depressed out.
So like